mega cooler. You want to keep track of what people are doing as far as this guy doesn't have auto reload on, which pretty much 100% of good regulars always have auto reload on. So you know he's not a good regular, therefore. This guy just got another cooler, or flush versus flush. I was going to do that. This is a pretty good connected hand. I was going to isolate the shorty. On the button, I'm going to call with it. The 4 of a suit makes it not that valuable. Oh, and that's really... okay. I think he has just enough where this guy won't be able to re-raise. If he can re-raise, then I have to fold this hand. In this exact situation, which I don't think he can. I think he's just short of being able to re-raise. Yeah, perfect. Which, if, say he could re-raise and he jammed, and say I had just like Queen 10 of spades and like a single suited hand but not all spades, then I'd probably go all in too with this type of hand. Okay, and we flopped a mega wrap, but there's a flush draw on board. I'm going to bet it for value though. If we get it in, that's fine. We got the basically nut wrap. They both have hearts, so that hurts them. And that's a really good card for us, and that is not a really good card for us. But luckily it's only against 2 short stacks, but we're in pretty good shape on that board, especially against those hands. And the reason I bet there, it's technically a dry side pot, but I think I'll just limp this behind. It's a pretty terrible hand. Usually on the button here I'll be isolating pretty wide, raising a lot of hands. This isn't really one of them, doesn't play too well post. Yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, the reason I bet there is to clean up some of my outs. That is, say he just has like a dry 9-7 or something like that. I don't want him to be able to chop with me when we both make a straight. This flop is it's kind of a scary flop, but I'm gonna bet it one time. I got bottom 2 here in this mini way pot. That's the easy fold. This is the type of flop where either he flopped like a set or a straight, or he's pretty much not going to continue. These 9s are pretty trashy. I think I'm going to fold them under the gun. I'd probably open them from cutoff or button, though. 5-handed, though, you could open them. That was pretty thick. Yeah, so this has been a pretty interesting short session so far. I'll probably make this like a 2-part video, 20 minutes or so. So keep it going for now. Yeah. And while we're just have a little bit of downtime, this hand is pretty terrible. If it gets raised, I'll probably fold it. It has the ace and low suited connectedness, but it's still not that good for a raise out of position. There's just not a lot of flops that you love with it. Again, double suited hand, but bad connectedness, and the suits aren't high. So, I mean, they are, but they're not very high. Okay, just go ahead and check this. Okay, just check fold. Though it's not a horrible board to just stab at it once, and I will frequently, but I'm not going to this time. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about 3-betting in pot limit Omaha. Since you get aces so often, and because a lot of times players are afraid, justifiably, that someone else has aces, they the typical what am I trying to say? The typical player who's not very experienced will pretty much only 3-bet aces, which is really easy to exploit. So you have to 3-bet hands that aren't only aces for value. And a lot of hands in pot limit Omaha have a ton of value pre-flop, even against aces. So you shouldn't be scared to 3-bet hands like Queen Jack 10-9, Jack 10. Jack 10, 8, 7, double suited, hands like that, or even single suited, depending on your position in the situation. It's not a great double suited hand, and I'm out of position. Folding would be fine. I'm going to call, because it looks like we're going to have a 4-way pot here. And that's pretty much a whiff flop, and one I can't continue on. So yeah, so you need to 3-bet more hands than just aces, and also you need to just call with lots of your mediocre, not great aces hands. For both are basically, you have to do both things to balance your play. If you only 3-bet aces, it becomes really easy to play against you, and people can call your 3-bets with really wide ranges and do so correctly. But if you have, we had river 2 pair, you cannot value bet it on this board. You just got to check and hope you're good. This guy looks like he has kings and gave up, or something like that, or just a connected hand and gave up. There's no straights possible, so if someone does bet, then it's likely they're not representing too much except for aces up, like aces and nines or pocket nines. So it's not a horrible spot to hero call here. It would be a hero call. I only have ace, queens and nines, but it's a really strange spot for him to be betting, just because there's not a lot of made hands he can have, except for like a low set that he just became convinced is good. And it's such a good card to bluff, so I'm really tempted to call here. I'm gonna call. It's kind of spewy, but I'm gonna call. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. It's such a good spot for a bluff, really, because with all of us checking the flop and the turn, there's basically zero chance anyone has anything as good as aces up unless they just improved aces up on the river. So it's a really good spot to bluff, and there's not a whole lot that he's representing there. He basically is only representing like aces and nines, or like rivered trip nines, and with me having a 9, those hands are kind of unlikely for him to have. So so I kind of like my call there. It's kind of an interesting spot, but it's essentially only a bluff catcher, really, what I had, but it's so likely he has a bluff there. So and spots like that don't really arise that often, because on the river there's hardly ever a situation where there's no straight, no flush possible, like there was right there, where the nuts is only a set, or basically a nuts would be aces up there, effectively, considering how that hand was played. So a lot of the times you'll have to worry if someone makes a bet there that they have a straight or a flush, or a ton of other hands that beat you besides just aces up. But really, aces up's like the only thing I was worried about, which means he had a really extremely polarized range in that situation. He either had aces up or he had a bluff, which he did have. So yeah, this video has actually had a couple interesting spots. This hand, if it was the 3 suits with ace being one of the suits, then I'd open it. Without the ace being suited, though, it's a pretty trashy hand. This is just garbage. Just throw that away. Jacks. These jacks are not very good. You could fold them under the gun here. I often would. I'm just going to open them one time. It's a pretty decent flop for us. It's not a huge amount of hands that hit this board. Yeah, I'll definitely continuation bet if check too. If he leads, it'll be a strange spot. Unfortunately, I pretty much have to bet fold this, just because. Okay, because if I get check raised on this board, it's almost always by a hand like top set, or like a wrap and a flush draw or something. Both of which, and against that range, my hand just does really bad, because the flush draw that they could have is usually, or often, the nut flush draw. So I'll call that a video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.